what's up, everybody? 9:01, October 25th. Got a little rally piece going on right here in Game 2, Toronto. Vlad just hit a ball off the wall, got a single. So yeah, we're in a moment here. Yamamoto facing Kirk, first and third, one out in the third, 1-0 Dodgers. So here we go. I will keep us updated on this as we get ready. Let's switch over here really quickly. This inning got a little crazy. Got started with this pitch to Springer's hand. Kirk gets one in the air. Looks like it's going to be a sac fly. Yep, so they're going to tie it up. Little sac fly from Kirk. Okay, so we just saw Springer gets hit. Lucas strikes out. And then this two-pitch at bat right here starts him off with a curveball away for a nice pitch. Mr. Vlad comes back with the heater. Vlad beats him to the spot. Hits his location. But he's all over that. 113.9 at 19. Smacks up against the wall. Lucky he didn't get this ball a little bit higher. It would have been a home run for sure. But we got a run there. And the Jays are doing what they do. Putting the ball in play. Making things happen. All right, so now it's Varsho up there. They had a great matchup the first time, these guys. Yoshi faced Varsho with trouble in the first, ends up striking him out looking on a curveball. So let's see what we got here. Well, gets him this time on a split. So they're going to end up the third tied at 1. So we're all square after the third. But that's where we're at. So here we go. Here we go. How was Toronto? Toronto was amazing. Had a great time. I didn't sleep. Literally did not sleep. So flight got delayed. Got into Pearson Airport probably around a little bit after 7:15. Made my way to the tram system. Got on the train, took it to the stadium. By the time I got into the suite, it was probably the third or fourth batter of the game. Savage had gone clean and Snell was out there. So, but it was great. It was a great game. Obviously, the Jays had an amazing game 1. The home run, I had a really good view of the home run, the grand slam by Barger. And it was just one of those nights. Went to dinner after the game, and it was late. And I had a 6:15 a.m. Flight back home. And so, yeah, I'm pretty exhausted, but I'm also fired up for this game. This is a huge, huge game right here. All right, so I'll switch over and let's update a little bit on what we've seen so far. So in the first inning, I mentioned Yamamoto got himself in a little bit of trouble. This is the first batters of the game for the Jays. Springer all over a sinker for a double. So he's reached base both times this game. And then Lucas on a first pitch ambush on this cutter. Man. Just a little flop shot into left, but not enough to score anybody. So first and third, no outs. Looks like they're headed for another big inning, but then Yoshi really bears down. So here's the whole at bat versus Vlad. First pitch split. So let's just think really quick about how Vlad's been getting pitched by righties when we last saw him, which was versus the Mariners. Obviously, yesterday he gets majority of his at-bats off of Mr. Snell, so it's a little bit of a different scenario. But guys have been pitching him sinkers in, sliders away mainly, right? That's been the plan. His approach has been spray the ball to right field on the fastball, pull the off-speed pitches. So first pitch splitter is a little abnormal. He hadn't seen a lot of that, but I like it. They're going at him thinking, let's not let him ambush. If he does hit it, he's probably hitting it on the ground. We'll take 2 outs in exchange for a run here if we have to. So ball 1, but that was the choice right there. Sinker in ball, and Vlad's back to doing his emoting takes here. Look at this right here. 2-0 count. Yoshi's got to dig deep. It's nice to have a perfect split like that. Holy cow. Right down the middle. And just gone. Super nasty. All right, 2-1. Split again. Really good again. So, like, he's a little bit of a different dynamic. They really haven't seen a guy quite like Yamamoto yet. I know that they saw, you know, the Gilberts, the Kirbys, those types of guys from Seattle, but Yoshi's command's on a different level, and this splitter's a power split. 92-7. Very hard to differentiate that. Very, very good pitch. Deviates awfully late. He throws a ton of splits in this at-bat. And I think that makes sense. The one thing that Vlad's been doing wrong, when he's been doing anything wrong, is he's been beating the ball into the ground a little bit. So in this situation, obviously you want to strike out, but you'll also take a ground ball. He's not a fast runner. You will trade 2 outs for 1 run here early in the game. It's all about not allowing a crooked number to score. 1 or none. 1 or none in this spot. Another split again. So it makes sense. And he's not really making much of a swing adjustment on it, to be fair. He still chops this ball really, really steeply into the ground. Almost behind him. Actually curious to see the angle at which this ball comes off the bat. Yeah, I mean, he fouls it behind him. I mean, he's very fly swatter-ish on top of that pitch, huh? All right, which gets us to the 3-2, and I love this pitch that Yoshi breaks out, which is the curveball. He hasn't seen one of these, probably in the whole playoffs. So that's a big deal. And he breaks that out at the perfect time. Splitter, 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 curveball. So really gets attacked in a manner in which he had not been attacked the entire playoffs. So I really like that. Sorry, Cal, can you guys hear me okay? Do I need to scoot this thing a little closer maybe? See if that helps. Anyway, all right. So in the current events, Gausman got 2 quick outs to start the 4th, so it's still 1-1. He's looked quite good. I thought both pitchers really labored a lot last night. Savage and Snell, obviously, we'll take a look at some of that at some point. But Gausman's been pretty locked in. I give credit to the Dodgers for that first run, which we can watch right now in a second. But I want to show you how Yoshi gets out of that inning. So that was the Vlad strikeout. Then there's Kirk. He's going to get a line out here. But again, heavy splitter usage pretty apparent early in this game from Yoshi. Splitter curveball to righties. It's a interesting combo. More of a left-handed combo, righty to a lefty, but they are going to great lengths to not be very predictable and to be able to, you know, be many different types of pitchers in one. All right, so he kind of sprays this ball the other way, kind of the way you should. It's just right at Freddie, huh? Doesn't hit it very hard, but so many splits. And I guess with Kirk, the idea is also, you know, hit it on the ground. It's an easy double play. All right, so he gets the second out there, and then this at-bat versus Varsho. Varsho, obviously, is kind of the guy that switched the momentum around last night. In the ballpark, it definitely felt like the Dodgers were kind of in control. There was that base running mistake by Freddie, actually, I believe, towards the end of the 3rd inning, where it seemed like nothing in the moment, but it turned out to be kind of a big deal because it kind of let the Blue Jays off the hook a little bit, and then they could go get their offense going. And Varsho was able to hit that 2-run shot off Snell, which I thought was impressive since I thought Varsho was going to be basically an automatic out versus Snell, and instead he goes 2-run homer to center. Anyway, so 3-0 count here. 3-0 splitter. I mean, paints the bottom, or is it just down? I think it's just down. But 3-0 splitter, you want to talk about not giving in and really trusting the split so far in this game. That's a pretty apparent. All right, now he's going fastball, and he gets it up. Now, you know, I am not a heat map guy, per se. I don't look at the heat map and just say, stay out of the red. I say, there's context there, and it depends. But generally speaking, there are some guys that their swing just can't help but go through the same part of the zone over and over and over again. And Dalton Varsho is oftentimes one of those guys. Not every time, but oftentimes he can really only cover middle down, this area of the zone. So if you're going to throw the fastball, you're going to throw it up. That's what he does there. You know, it's a split down, and then he goes fastball up and in and kind of gets out of that swing path and gets the foul ball. And why that was even more key is because it set up a tunnel for the curveball. Now he pops this curveball above that fastball. Varsho wisely at least for a split second, wisely decides to let it go, but then it bends back over the plate for a called strike 3. So just excellent tunneling. Really hard to predict what Yoshi's going to throw you. I mean, Dalton really hadn't seen any of that. And he goes split, four seam uphill, up in, dotted, and then curveball that starts above that line, so it looks like a ball out of hand for a freeze. So, like, this is some Jedi level pitching to get out of it. You can see how freaking good he is. I know he's had a lot of traffic in this game, but you can see how talented Yoshinobu Yamamoto is. All right, so that was the first inning, but that made me very curious to go take a quick look at the player breakdown so far. I mean, look at that. We haven't watched all of it yet, but 21 splitters from Yoshi so far. This is very abnormal. 21 splits. I gotta get rid of this comment. My bad, guys. We'll talk about this in a second. I'm also, at the same time, I'm doing a Q&A with The Athletic right now. So occasionally I will get a question here, and I will probably share it with you guys and let them know what I'm thinking about this game. All right, so another quick out here. And Yoshi gets the first out of the fourth, so starting to settle down maybe a little bit. Okay, but look at this usage. Look at this usage. Again, 21 splits, 8 four-seamers, 8 curveballs, 5 sinkers, which hasn't been a huge part of his game lately, 2 sliders, 2 cutters. So he's all over the place, but heavy splitter usage. The whiff rate's good, nothing insane, 29%. Only 3 of the 11 on split, but I would imagine he's getting nothing but ground balls on those splits. At least that's the idea. Ooh, Barger just put a charge into one. Oh no, Paz is there. So nothing there. He is getting 38% chase to this point in the game, and he's relatively in the zone. So he's doing a lot of things right. But it's the Blue Jays, man. They're tough. They're tough. And on the other side of things, Gauze, 34 seamers, 14 splits, 4 sliders. This is typical Kevin. The splits will probably raise up as we go. Velocity-wise, he looks fairly typical here. Nothing special, but Yoshi is definitely up. See the velos here on Yoshi. He is up on across the board. At least 1 mile an hour on pretty much everything. And currently averaging 96.4 with his fastball in this game, which is very useful, I would say. Okay, so as for this question, I was looking at Gosman's stats, and I saw he's slightly better against righties than left, which is weird with his pitch mix compared to Yasavage, who was very effective versus left. Yeah, I mean, Yasavage is... You saw it last night with Yasavage, and we can go watch some of his game, and we probably will tonight, but he was erratic, his splitter command wasn't there, so he really abandoned it. That's his best pitch, and his slider goes the wrong way. Gosman's doesn't go the wrong way, at least it goes left a touch, so they're a little bit different in that way. The approach angle is different. Also, Gauze, he's got the advantage of experience. He's pitched probably over 1,000 innings in the big leagues, so his righty approach is a little more evolved and a little more dialed in, whereas Savage is just like raw weapon of mass destruction versus lefties and righties. He's still trying to kind of figure it out. I thought that was a key yesterday, maybe, was how many righties the Dodgers are going to put in the lineup, against him to try to get things going. But, interesting to see how it played out. And ultimately, he was able to weather the storm. In yesterday's game, I was with a bunch of other ball players, and I was talking to maybe Jeremy Guthrie or CC, and we were all thinking that Yasavage was done after the third. He looked like he was really laboring, even though he kind of limited the damage. They did send him back out. They had Fisher warming up. They sent him back out for the fourth, which was a little surprising, and then he goes out there and throws like a 1-2-3 fourth. And in a lot of ways, it was one of the more valuable innings that was pitched the whole day. So big credit yesterday to Yasavage for getting that fourth inning, and also for Schneider for kind of relying on it and it working. And, Trey, in that inning, he got his slider figured out. He started throwing sliders down, which was very effective. So, I mean, I know we're talking about yesterday still, and we have stuff to look at from this game right now. But, yeah, that's what I saw a little bit yesterday. So Yoshi just finished the fourth inning clean. So see what changes here. Not a whole lot of, not as many splitters in that inning. but everything looking fine. Pitch count wise, where are we? Gosman threw 4s at 48. That's a good place to be. And Yoshi threw 4 is at 52. Not bad either. So both starters are in decent shape pitch count wise, I would say. Let's watch some more of Yoshi while we're here, and then we'll switch over to watching Gauze. So this was the second inning. Clement leads it off with a first pitch single. What a shocker. That's pretty much all this guy does. Although this is obviously the play where Yoshi just doesn't catch it and Freddie overruns it. Just a weird play. I bet you the dome had something to do with it. You know, I was asked earlier in the Q&A, why do pitchers not catch these balls? It's not that we can't catch them. And I'm sure Yoshi can catch it with his eyes closed. It's more so just you're just taught not to. You're taught to go let the, quote, real athletes make the play. So, you know, whatever. Even the best players in the world can screw stuff up like that. But then he comes back, gets Barger out looking here on a fastball. Interesting. Ooh, dots a fastball down. 97 at the knees. In a bubble, probably a good pitch for Addison to swing at. But it's also absolute paint. Curious where this split is, if it's a good take or not. Yeah, so again, I've talked about this a lot. This is a very classic case of he throws a split here for a chase, right? Barger doesn't swing at it. So as a pitcher, you're wondering how he didn't swing at it. That pitch was a strike in the bottom part of the zone for a very long time before it kind of drifts to this outer portion. And sometimes you come to the conclusion that, oh, they're just letting it go if it's low. So if I throw anything low, he'll probably take it. And that's why this fastball down, in my opinion, works so well and is so clean. Because anything low, Barger's committed to taking it. So good identification, good execution, good strikeout for Yoshi there. And then Kiner Falefa one pitch out on a curveball. Nah, you can't draw it up any better than that. You just lollipop a curveball in there and you get a one pitch out. You know, when you've worked a little bit hard to this point. So that was big. That was much needed. And I'm surprised IKF was so aggressive on that curveball, honestly. I don't know if he's hunting that or why he would be. But there's the first pitch curveball to Jimenez. So the curveball's been a big part of it tonight, and then obviously the split. Ooh, I love that swing. But I also really like this play by Mookie. Why do I like the swing? Well, I like the swing because, you know, in this type of formation, they're probably giving you a lot of hole over towards shortstop, right? Yeah. There's a lot of hole over here. So Jimenez, if he knows if he hits a low line drive the other way, he's got singles, and if he gets it a little bit in the proper spot, he's got doubles. So I don't know. I like this. I like this formation. You know, to get it through here, you can't miss too close to the pitcher or it's caught. And if you're just a couple degrees to the right, second baseman's got a chance for it on range. So I like going this way like he does. It's really nice. Really nice swing here. But also a great play by Mookie. I mean, Mookie just, you know, tackles it, but is very coordinated, knows he has time. Like, catches it on the short hop, does like a nice little slide. He's very patient here as he stands up and sets his feet and makes a good throw. There's no, he's not out of rhythm or out of control at all. So this is really nice. Gosman's still looking quite good here in the fifth, cruising along. This is shaping up to be a tight one. All right, so that was the second inning. We showed you the third inning. I'm curious about this Vlad at bat where he hits the ball off the wall. I love that first pitch cutter away to a righty. So I'm not a big, you know, you're not really taught to throw a lot of these types of pitches to righties in zone. A little right on right cutters away, because if you throw it down the middle, it's a pretty good pitch to hit. But I love it a lot of times first pitch, because if you think that the hitter's ambushing, he's probably going to be looking for one of your more used pitches versus right-handers, right? So in my case, that would have been like a sinker or a slider. So if I'm starting with a cutter, he's probably not looking for that. So now I have the advantage of that aspect of it. And, you know, I think that's the same here with Yoshi. I mean, he's been throwing curveballs, sinkers, four-seam splits. Like, the cutter's not really on the menu, and then he goes ahead and breaks it out for a first pitch. So I like that. You know, and then I even like the next pitch too. It's a fastball in, so you start with something running away, and then you fire in on the inside. But dude, Guerrero's just all over it, which shows you how incredible he is. He beats that to the spot and just pivots on it. But only gets a single because he hits it so hard, but sets them up for the run, which eventually comes home on this Kirk sack fly. Slider, interesting. Ooh, Edmund just put a charge in the ball. Nope, gonna be a warning track shot. So anyway, there's the Kirk sack fly on the slider, and that's how the game got tied up. So both pitchers have pitched well. I don't think either offense has laid down, but I think they both struggled a little bit to find hits. Let's go, Anthony. Let's go, baby. You're doing it. You're doing it. We're thinking of you, man. Let's go. Yeah, okay. This is a good comment about Yoshi's cutter. Cutter's always good when he only throws it occasionally. I kind of agree. Some pitches, like, they're good pitches in small doses. They can't be a pitch that is, like, driving the bus, is what I used to say. Like, my cutter can't drive the bus. It can be a contributor to this journey, but it cannot drive. So, that's what I used to say. All right, so that was the sack fly, and then he was able to get Varsho to ground out on a split to kind of get out of the third. And then he goes out and has a really clean fourth, I believe. So this was Yoshi's fourth. Clement, another quick at-bat, of course. I like curveballs to him. If you're going to swing at everything, why not throw the two-speed down pitch? And, you know, Yoshi's got incredible athleticism. I think he's a little late actually getting off the mound here. But then he busts a move. Good feed by Freddie. One out. And then Barger, he's going to get a first pitch out on a curveball. So now maybe this is the move. Going to a little bit more curveball early when he feels the ambush coming. He's getting good contact results with it. I mean, this is a good pitch to hit, but he only gets it 98.6 because I feel like he's a little off timing. And then IKF, he gets a pretty quick out with the curveball as well. So literally three outs with curveballs in the fourth. This is another reason why he's so good. Like, he kind of learns as the game goes on. He figures it out. Like, no, this is the move. This is the move now. You know, so many splitters early, and now he's going to the curveballs. So pretty good. Pretty good. Yoshi fast. Just ask Mario. Yes, my favorite green dinosaur. Thanks, JP. Appreciate that. All right. So what was I saying here? Looks like it is all square through 5. Gosman. Let's look at our lay of the land at the moment. Nah, not through 5. Yoshi's going out for the 5th now. He is at 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 52 pitches, 4 hard hit balls. Gosman, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 1.96. I forgot. I didn't review how he gave up the run at the beginning of the game. This was, to me, this was a little bit of a Blue Jay-esque, little rally here. It's 2 outs, nobody on. Ohtani gets out, Betts gets out, and then Freddie comes up, and he gets this freaking hit. Which, good pitch, better swing. Refuses to strike out, puts it in play, gets rewarded with a double. And then Will Smith, low line drive approach, that shit works. And then Will Smith, 2-pitch at bat, and just watch the approach here. First pitch fastball, he's kind of ready for it, looking to go the other way, but it's a touch late. Now he's still driving that way as he gets this slider, and he's able to lean over the plate and smack it through. I also think this is a poor read by Gosman. I don't understand the slider call here because the first pitch fastball, even though he's ambushing on it and does look like he's willing to drive it the other way, he's late. He's late and he's under it. And it's kind of middle, but he's still late and under it. So what would be the adjustment coming back off of that? Well, the adjustment would be to throw a fastball more up and in to upset the timing further, or just like way inside to reset him. Or you go with your bread and butter and throw a split below the zone. Now, timing wise, that's not a good pitch, but at least it's at least the pitch you command really well. Instead, for some reason he goes slider away, and I feel like because Smith's already has this energy going that way on the fastball, he's able to easily time up the slider because now he kind of speeds up his bat with this pitch. And it's a good swing. It's a Blue Jays-esque swing. It's a 2-out, runner in scoring position. I'm going to get a single and drive in a run swing, which we all love. And that's how the Dodgers got their run. And obviously, we watch how Toronto got their run with the sac fly. So, been a good game. I really have no... I can't quibble too much with anything that I've seen so far. Let's watch this fifth inning by Gausman, which was pretty dominant. First two batters are strikeouts. Split down to Muntz. Split down. And, the Dodgers offense, let's be honest, a little disappointing to this point. They're supposed to be putting pressure on these pitchers a little more than they are and breaking through, and they have a lot of familiarity with Gausman. So more credit to Kevin, of course. He's pitching really well, but this Dodger offense has to pull their weight a little bit too. And man, he just peppered him with splits. And this one, just look at this thing drop off the table. And Muncy has to bend the knee. So Yoshi just had a clean fifth as well. So these guys are now dueling. They're about to head to the sixth. Both starters are going to stay in there. That's great. And then Kike gets him with a 4-pitch strikeout here. Let's see what the approach is here. They've been getting burned, and all teams have been getting burned when they throw off speed in the zone to Kike Hernandez. So I would be sticking hard with him for the most part. But that's fine. How much do you think Roberts will be thinking about Bo coming off the bench with later bullpen moves? I mean, there's not much you can do about it. His trust tree is pretty thin. Wow, really good split here. Yeah, I mean, so far out front that he almost loses his top hand off the bat. I mean, wow. This is also negative 2.9. Inches of induced vertical break. This is a super duper split by Kevin here. Fantastic. So to answer the question about Bo, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of guys in his trust tree. Bo's gonna get. They're gonna have a targeted pinch hit for Bo. There's not much he can do about that. He just has to trust his guys to get him out and hope that Bo Bichette's not the same Bo Bichette because he's barely playing. This is a good swing by Tommy. He goes down to get this split, but it's just too low. This is something to remember. If Edman faces Gausman again, he's more than willing to go meet him on his terms below the zone. So he better be careful down there. He better make good pitches down there. Because even though he doesn't get clipped there, I mean, it's interesting. It's a little dangerous. All right, so that was a good inning by him, and now we got to go back to Yoshi. These guys are flying all of a sudden through this game. Here's Yoshi's fifth inning. Andres Jimenez. Oh, man. We have to go without the broadcast for a minute. Fastball's still there. Velo's still there. Split away ball. Split line drive to left. That's an out. So back to going to the splits. I bet you he throws a bunch of curveballs to righties here. Let's see. Yep, here comes George. This was an adjustment we saw. I bet he sticks with it. Yeah, curveball. Beautiful. Gets George to roll it over. Very nice, very nice. Hold on. And then Lucas, he gets out as well. So a really clean, fast inning for Yoshi. Fastball here. He got beat with that cutter up into Lucas in the beginning of the game. Ooh, this time he's under it. Big hack. Kind of a dangerous pitch, huh? Doesn't quite matter, but. And splitter down. Right back to Yamamoto. This time he makes the play himself. So very nicely done. And that's a clean 5th, and now we're on to the 6th. So Gosman will be out there. They're doing a stand up to cancer thing right now. So I guess the inning break's a little longer, I'm guessing. I don't know. Springer will clobber the next curveball. You've heard it here first, folks. If he faces him again, it's going to take a lot for him to face him again. He just got through Lucas, so he's got to go back through the lineup again. Vlad, Kirk, Varsho, Clement, Barger, Kiner-Falefa, Jimenez, before getting to Springer. I do think, you know, we've talked about it before. George is pretty good at hunting pitches, so you make a mistake with whatever he's hunting, it might go very far. It might be very, very loud. Hey, Wafflox, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? There's still a full-blown concert going on right now, which I'm a little confused about on my broadcast. I don't know what happened to the baseball game. I'm wondering what it feels like in the stadium right now. I don't know. All right, let's go back to the player breakdowns, I guess, and see how the pitchers are shaping up. Yoshi, 24 splits. Now he's throwing more fastballs all of a sudden, and then the curveballs. 15 fastballs, 13 curveballs. Sprinkling in the others. Gosman. Still heavy usage on the fastball. 58% on four-seam today. So, yeah. Good time to refresh the iced coffee. You know, I could use one because I am dragging. But if I drink a coffee now, then I won't sleep after this, and I need to sleep after this. So it was a good timing. How would I strike out the Jonas Brothers? I'm assuming I would just throw them slider, fastball. Something like that. Yeah, and I don't. That sucks. He had to do a whole break here. I'm sure Smoltz is probably commenting on that now. I see Joe Davis talking to Smoltz. Maybe they're talking pitching. I can't tell. But anyway, we are back to the game finally. So yeah, Gosman, 58% fastball. The split's got 60% whiff on it though. So that's probably. I mean, it's showing up. His you know, the typically non-chasing qualities of the Dodgers are not showing up. They are 40% chase so far in this game. On top of that, he's 58% in the zone. So he's in the zone. He's throwing a ton of strikes. That's the bottom line. A ton of strikes. Wonder if I have that information. Do I have the strikes here? No. I will say the expected batting averages so far in this game definitely point to the Blue Jays offense being a little bit better with their process so far against Yamamoto. 265 xBA and 41% hard hit, whereas Gosman's only allowing a 179 xBA and a 37.5 hard hit. How many runs do I think Yamamoto would have to give up before he's pulled? Probably 3. Maybe 2, depending on how late it gets, but they're gonna ride him pretty hard here. I think they want to go Yamamoto to Sasaki in this game. I don't think they want to have to use anybody else. But the game will dictate this, right? Who's got the nastier split? Gauze or Yamamoto? Now this is a freaking tough question. I want to put that in the chat. In the poll. So I'm going to put that in the poll on my channel. It won't be on the MLB channel, I don't think. But I'm going to throw that in the poll on my YouTube. All right, I threw that in there. So we'll see what people say. But what's my current vote is actually I think Yamamoto's. That's hard. That's so hard to answer. But Kevin's is slower, and that way, in some ways, it's more effective in certain aspects. But I like the power nature of Yamamoto's split. So I definitely have plans of being a manager at some point. 100%. Not pitching coach though. 100% at some point. Manager. is on the list. It's on the bucket list. And it's destiny at some point. They're both on fire tonight. Very true. Very true. So Gosman's out here in the 6th. Now he's facing Shohei. He's got a 1-1 count, 1 out, nobody on. I mean, he's locating his fastball really, really well. That's partly why he can throw it to such extent, and it works. He just jammed the crap out of Shohei and gets a pop-up. So we won't have broadcasts yet, but I can show you a little bit. You know, he gets a first pitch out of Pages here. Kind of jamming him. Pretty good swing, honestly. And Pages, man, he's got like 100 OPS going right now, which stinks for Handy, but he can't buy a hit. And then look at this sequence to Shohei. Splitter away ball. Four seam dotted away off of that. So it's kind of like the split came off that line and it was a ball. So then he uses that effect to then dot a fastball away and get a take. And now that Shohei's entire attention is away, he throws a perfect fastball up and in. Look at this. Perfect pitch. You can't throw a better fastball off of a fastball away to Shohei Ohtani than that pitch. God. That's the pitch I would always visualize making to some of the tough lefties, like a Jackson Merrill, or a Christian Yelich, or a Brandon Belt, or, you know, you name it. Also just got another infield pop-up that Vlad just made the play on. So Gosman's rolling. He's through 6. He's been phenomenal. Okay, we got a thing coming through in the chat. Oh, he dropped the Q in the chat. Oh, here we go. Steven, here we go. This is from The Athletic. Is the Dodgers' power outage so far this series more about the Jays' pitching execution in your mind, or the Dodgers' missing opportunities? I would say the answer to my question this right now, Steven, is it's a combination of both, but the Dodgers have not been as opportunistic on the pitches they've gotten to hit as they typically are, and they have not been as disciplined within the strike zone as they normally are. They were somewhat versus Savage early yesterday, but that strike zone judgment sort of deteriorated as the game went on. And tonight, they have way too much chase against Gosman, but I want to give a lot of credit to Gosman because he's gotten ahead and he's thrown some really quality pitches. So it's a combination of both. But yeah, you expect a little bit more out of this offense. All right, so that's the answer to that. And then here was that Mookie pop-up. Again, you can see the locations. You want to go away to Mookie, he goes away right there for a strike. Locates above the zone, and that fastball is playing today. It's about 18 vert on it. That's pretty quality. The velocity, you know, I mentioned it wasn't anything crazy. It's still pretty good, though. Here, 95.6. This is his 3rd time through the order, and he pops up 2 of the best hitters in the sport. It's really nice. Saw a headline that Doc was considering benching Pages, I believe. Is the coach doing that to light a fire under him or just being honest about the situation? I think the concept of lighting a fire under the player comes into play at times with certain personalities, of course. But at the same time, I think he's also just being honest here. Like, you have to play the hot hands. And at a certain point, everybody's going to get a little down on themselves after they struggle, you know, like this mightily for an extended period of time in the postseason. And you might as well give somebody else a run. I mean, Alex Call, I don't know, somebody. So I could see it going down. I could see it going down at some point. And if I was a manager, I'd probably be thinking the same way. It's like, it's just in these moments, you have to go with what's working a little bit. It's a little different in the postseason. Because you're not working from a large sample size. You're trying to make things happen right now. So it's a little bit of both. All right, what else we got? Ooh, thanks, my love. Camp Ottavino pink hoodie from a couple years ago. Yeah, Daniel's feeling it. He thinks Call or High Song needs to be in there. Ooh, they just showed a World Baseball Classic promo. I am juiced for that. Forgot that Judgy's playing for USA. Wow. That's tremendous. Ooh, we got a good matchup now. Yamamoto and Vlad. Threw him a fastball right down the middle that he takes, and he's doing the nod thing. This is a dig in at bat. And he goes to the split. Good take. All right, what else we got here? Do pronators get good vert typically, or can supinators get vert too, even though the ball doesn't spin as efficiently? I would say, yeah, typically pronators are in a better spot to get more consistent levels of vert because they stay behind the ball longer than a supinator would. Well, like in a different kind of way. Like when they go to pronate, they get into that squared up position at release a lot different than a supinator. But a lot of it's also just like the arm angle. Like if you have a better shot if you're coming in over the top to square the ball up and backspin it than you do if you're coming from any lesser degree than that. Wow, Vlad just pissed on a ball, but Edmund was right there in that up the middle formation. So 1 out for Yoshi in the 6th. What is this replay that we're seeing? Is this what players watching the game? Yes, this is the Dugout app. This is basically the app that the players have in the dugout. This is how they review their at-bats and stuff. Since we can't watch the game live, this is the best that we can do. We can flip through it, and I can break down what we're seeing a little bit after it happens. What else we got? What else we got? As a competitor, was it hard to play in Colorado? Of course, very challenging, but also we were good when I was there the last few years, and it was very rewarding to be a part of a good ball club in that ballpark and just exciting baseball. Great fans in Colorado, believe it or not, and huge turnouts, some electric nights, and we had really, really great players when I was there. So I love the challenge of it, and I got used to being there. But of course, it is a challenge as a pitcher, no doubt. All right, here we go. Since Judge is part of Team USA for 26, is Ohtani going to be a part of? Of course. Ohtani will absolutely be a part of Samurai Japan. It's a huge honor in Japan, and you don't say no to that. So it's just like in Dominican. Like Vlad will play for Dominican. You don't say no to that. Freddie Freeman plays for Canada for the WBC, which is great. So he's got a connection there. He's probably the one guy that the Jays fans can't bring themselves to dislike right now. Ooh, Yoshi's rolling. He just punched Kirky out with a curveball. Yeah, and this was my thoughts earlier as well, that Vlad just in general, he's very, 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 very comfortable at the in the plate right now. Like he's just even when he's getting out, he's hitting the ball hard. So I don't like parading a savage to the media before starts. Press conference questions like, "How does it feel to have all of Canada depending on you?" Let the kid relax / focus. Save the media for after the game. I mean, this is just the reality of the postseason. I've never sat at a podium except for pre a couple playoff series and like 3 times ever, and he's doing it right away every start in the postseason, so it's just part of it. Uh, but he'll be fine. He's honestly like he doesn't. You're so young. You don't have any scar tissue built up yet. You don't know what pain feels like yet. Heartbreak. So you just go out there and play baseball. It's a pretty free and awesome feeling, I would imagine. All right, what else we got? All right, not a whole lot, but these innings continue to roll. Yoshi just goes 1, 2, 3 in his end of the 6th. Here's the at bat versus Vlad. I don't think we get broadcast, but here's the at bat versus Vlad. 96-1, middle. Vlad's giving him the nod. Yep. Goes right to the split. Good take. So you see, he gets out this at bat, but he is awfully comfortable in there. That's an easy take. He's seeing the ball really well. He knows the strike zone really well. Here's that cutter. And I mentioned that these are dangerous pitches sometimes. Cutters in zone, really to anybody behind in the count when they can really hack. And he hits it 103 too. He just hits it on the ground and right up the middle to Tommy Edman. So unfortunate placement. But he almost takes Yoshi's feet out. So there's that. But you can see, it's just unfortunate for Vlad. Look where, Tommy's playing. He's just right there. He's able to back up and make the play. And there's 1 out. Then he just dissected Kirk here. Watch this at bat from Yamamoto to Kirk. Curveball ball. And he had been going heavy curveball to righties, right? So now here's a slider. I haven't seen a lot of that. They go to great lengths with the Dodgers, especially him and Snell, to be unpredictable. They go to great lengths. And Shohei. All 3 of those guys. And then, so slider, and then goes curveball. So curveball, slider, curveball. What a freaking sequence. And this one just undresses Kirk. He's so early and out front on it. And then he gets Varshy again, Varsho. Cutter in, gets the chase. Curveball. Good pitch, doesn't get the swing, but good pitch. Ooh, cutter. Man, I don't like these cutters, but he is locating them pretty well. That cutter got up in. And he's through 6. So let's check the pitch count situation and everything where we're at right now. Yama's at 71 through 6, and Gauze is at 65 through 6. So they're both sitting pretty from a pitch count perspective. And they've both been rolling a little bit. It's a very, very evenly pitched game, actually, on paper. Very evenly pitched game. Even hard hits. There's been one more hard hit off Yoshi than off of Gauze. You know, I'd say the biggest difference is just the way they're going about it. Gosman's just using basically 2 pitches and locating the crap out of it. And then you see what Yamamoto's doing. He's using kitchen sink. Okay, we have another question here. As a media, I don't think the Jays get an option in the Savage Media thing in the postseason. Yes, it doesn't. Very good and true comment here by Stephen Nesbitt. You are correct, sir. You have to go, so you have no choice. But it's just funny, you get thrust in that spot. You can't really control what they're going to ask you either. And of course, people are going to ask you anything unhinged. You know, unhinged sells. Ooh, here's a question about rookie dress up. We can take a quick pause from everything to answer this one. I think it's a good thing. I remember they used to have rookies dressed in costumes. I think that it's fun when they used to do the rookie dress up. I mean, if people are uncomfortable or ever crossed the line, it was always a no on teams I was on. Always a no. I never allowed any shenanigans to take place, especially once I rose to, you know, veteran status. But at the same time, like, the dress up is just fun, man. It's just fun. It's just great. People love it. You know, you just having fun with your teammates, making fun of yourselves. There's a lot of fun stuff and activities that happen on the bus between the players. Just good bonding stuff. So if it's more than that, then yeah, obviously it's got no place. But, you know, nothing wrong with good bonding stuff. So anyway. And yeah, Steve's right here. It's all contractually obligated, which is what he's asking about, you know, talking to the media in the postseason. Yeah, absolutely. You're obligated. Absolutely obligated. All right, Gosman's out here in the 7th. He's already got one out, as he just got out Freddie, and now he's working at Will Smith. Something tells me that one swing of the bat could be the difference in this game, the way it's trending right now. The rallies have been hard to come by. They've been hard to hammer down off these 2 pitchers. Will Smith's got a good eye tonight, though. All right, what else we got here? Do good pitchers that grew up in altitude have an advantage over their competition if their curves and sinkers and splitters are good? Just imagine when they're in lower altitude. So that's a good question. I can think of a couple notable pitchers that, you know, are from the Colorado area that became incredibly big studs in the big leagues. Kevin Gosman's actually one of them. David Peterson, Kyle Freeland. And then the most famous is probably Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay is a Colorado guy, Hall of Famer. I think that one thing what did I say about the one swing? Will Smith just did the one swing. So there's a home run by Will Smith. 2-1 Dodgers. Finally gets clipped on a mistake fastball. And now there's a roadmap. You get 6 more outs out of Yamamoto. You get 3 out of Sasaki. Potentially you can win this game. So we'll watch that in a minute. But let me finish answering this question. I think that when your pitches aren't as nasty and you have to rely on the other aspects of pitching to get batters out, there's an advantage to that. It's like a constraint drill. You're taking one of your skills away and saying, can you still solve the problem? And I think ultimately, too many pitchers that have stuff at a young age, they don't ever get an opportunity to develop the other things because the stuff's overwhelming and they don't have to develop the other aspects of pitching. So actually, maybe growing up in the altitude And being in a tougher environment to pitch in does breed some qualities in pitchers naturally. So I really like that. I think that's an excellent question, and that's kind of where I'm at on that. Some questions in here, and then this, I'm about halfway through this podcast right now, about, you know, where Kyle's talking about biomechanics and some other things. Kyle's very smart. Obviously, he's a big Red Sox. You know, works for Red Sox now. I've known him a long time. We haven't always agreed on everything, but when he talks, I listen for sure. So I've been halfway through this, and I'm curious to watch the rest. Okay, Will Smith home run. It's time to go look at that. It's time to go look at that. Where are we at here? So they're keeping Gosman in. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. So this was the 7th inning. He got a first pitch out. I just do it just so we're fully caught up. First pitch out on Freddie on a splitter. So everything's hunky-dory there. And then here's the Will Smith. Call that ball Chris Rock as Will Smith just slapped the hell out of it. Nice comment, Jared. So look at Will Smith has a very good approach in this at bat where he's seen it well. These are some close pitches and good takes. Both of these two fastballs on the 1-1 and on the 2-1, he doesn't get over anxious on them. That's a hair down if it's down. And then he spits on this one as well. And then 3-1, he takes a pass out of fastball, but it's away. Under it. And then he's going to get another fastball, but this one kind of drifts up in. And he's able to stay tight on it and swing it. And what's the hit data? 107.5 at 29. So destroyed into the second deck. I don't have the broadcast view, but here's the side view. Pulls the hands in, gets it right on the barrel. And that ball's a goner. So they have a 2-1 lead. Gosman's still in there. He's pitched tremendous in this game. He's done nothing wrong. This is one pitch that he makes a mistake on. I think that they threw too many fastballs, in my opinion. I think they threw him too many fastballs, in my opinion, in this at-bat, and he just eventually hits one. He just struck out Teoscar after that. But let's watch the whole at-bat again. Fastball in, ball. What are Smith's holes in his swing? I'll tell you in a sec. Fastball down, strike. There's not many of them. He's a pretty overall balanced hitter. But I do think at times he struggles with the outside corner, especially down in a way, up and away. At times he can drive the ball the other way. But you see the amount of fastballs he sees in this at bat. It's actually insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's kind of the tail of the tape. 6 fastballs on a great hitter, eventually timed one up, and it was probably in the spot he didn't want to be. So if he's pretty good inside, he's particularly quick in, as you can see here. So when I always faced Will Smith, it was a steady diet of sweepers over here, and I actually even like to get them up and away from him. And then I like to go sinkers back door, or I could go sinkers in, but make sure you get way in. And then if I was going to go four seam, it was way, way up. I also love changeup to Will Smith red and right because he's got a little bit of a flat swing. Ooh, another home run. Muncy just hit one. Oppo Taco. So now it's 2 big swings of the bat. 2 big swings of the bat. And they have a 2-run lead. Yep. Now it's 3-1. Muncy to the opposite field. He's such a good hitter. This is what I thought would show up a little bit in this matchup. Not that I think Gauze has pitched poorly. I think he's pitched outstanding. I thought the familiarity would eventually show up and the Dodgers would put some better at-bats on him. You saw the at-bat by Will Smith, spit on some pitches, earned himself a 6th fastball in a row. And then Muncy here, I mean, controls the zone and drives the ball out oppo. So you got to give credit where credit's due to the hitters in this situation a little bit more. Than anything with Gosman. So that chases Gauze. He's out now. And, yeah. I actually like the pitching change right here in a way because it ices Yamamoto a little bit. So at this point right now, there's 2 outs in the inning. you're probably taking him out anyway. But at the same time, Yamamoto's like, great, I have a 2-run lead. I'm in rhythm. Let me get back out there, and he can't. He's got to wait a little bit, so that kind of sucks. All right, what else we got here? Spectre's saying that Will Smith might be the sneakiest, most consistent hitter on the team. I can't disagree with that. He's got a short swing. Ultimately, he's got a short swing, and that's why I think he struggles with coverage, and that's why I don't mind away, especially down. He's very tall in his posture when he hits, Will Smith. Like, if you just watch him in his stance, he's very tall in his posture, and he never really, like, he crouches a little bit, but he stays tall. Like, even on the home run swing, he's pretty stood up when he hits this, and that's because of that. There's not a lot of dive in his game, and that's why I like down and away. But he's a damn good hitter. The fact that there's only like a little bit of an area that I think is super safe tells you that that short stroke is very effective. So good comment by Spectre, because obviously he watches all Dodger games. So great comment there. I feel like the player development and scouting gap with the abundance of tech information implemented differently by teams is more of an imbalance in the game than super teams. So this has been something that has been discussed, I know, at least in the commissioner's office a little bit. It's like there's been a little bit of a discussion of should there be a limit on off-the-field spending, like on developmental spending, because obviously the big teams can just throw absurd amounts of money in that direction, and have just so much computing power. Now, I don't think that the advantages necessarily from team to team in terms of what tools they're using are that huge of a gap, but maybe it's just the amount of money you can spend on the coaches to coach it. Hey.
Hi.
What you doing?
Nothing.
Using my bathroom?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, that's my thought on that. Kike is now hitting. Who just came in now for? Oh, it's Varland. So Varland, of course, they need to get him in the game. He's going to get a 1-pitch out. All right, so let's watch the Muncy home run. That funky Muncy. I hated facing Max Muncy. He was such a tough out for me, always. Controls the zone, has pop, uses the whole field. Now he gets pretty low and compact on his swing. Down and away is not always your friend to this guy. So Gauze here with a perfect little split. I mean, this is a perfect pitch, and he's 1-2 and in the driver's seat in this at bat. But then Max strikes back, spits on a splitter here off the plate away. And then I get why they go for the fastball freeze away, but he swings and puts a hell of a swing on it to the opposite field. And you can see Gosman just kind of watching it. Like, Gosman's reaction is like, huh? All right, here's the swing from the side. Pretty impressive piece of hitting right there. What's the metrics? 101 mile an hour at 34. So great swing to go oppo like that. Really, really nice. All right, what else we got here in the chat? Playing the second guessing game, any reason for the Jays to have had a quicker hook with Gosman, had their best arms rested, but he looks so good. Nope, I have no problem with Schneid's there. I'm riding Gosman as well. I think, simply put, I think he's your best pitcher. I do. He's pitching great. I don't think anything necessarily, It's easy to say now because it didn't work out, but there was no signs. No signs. He was throwing really, really well and kind of dominating the game. He's actually outpitching Yamamoto at that point, so no issue with that. That would be like saying that now it's time to take Yamamoto out because you have rested relievers. No, he's your best pitcher. You let him pitch. You let him pitch. That's my opinion on that. How long will it be before a team starts using pitchers based entirely on batters faced in that game and or pitcher versus hitter at bats in the series and in the season? Before a team starts using pitchers based entirely on batters faced in that game and or pitcher versus hitter at bats in the series. I think you're just saying like, well, do they take everything into account? I feel like the good teams are already doing that. Otherwise, I'm not. I'm just having a hard time. How many times did I strike out Muncy? Not many. Do you want to do a quick Ottavino check? I don't know if I've ever strike out Max Muncy. I think I have a bunch of walks against this dude. Shohei, I have one strikeout, so I'm proud of that. The GOAT's in the book. That's all I know. He's in the book. At the end of the day, he's in the book forever, and that can never change. All right, Ottavino versus, let's see, Muncy. Yeah, he went 2 for 4 off of me with a walk and 1 strikeout. So he is in the book. 2024, I struck out Max Muncy. Don't remember doing that. But I could probably find the video. 2024. So Mets. Oh, yeah, I do remember. I threw him a nasty pitch breaking down. Oof. Should we watch that real quick? Yoshi's back out there, but I think we have a second. We have a second. We have a second. We have a second. All right. It was Dodgers and Metropolitans 2024, early in the season in LA. Yep, it's this one. This was actually, I had a kind of a nasty outing in this outing. And then this at bat versus Muncy. Sweeper, strike. Man, I'm throwing so slow. Cutter thing up and in, but well located. 0-2. Change up. Get some fish in. And then this is the downer. At the time, I was calling this pitch the slammer. This is probably the best one I threw all year. Straight down. And that's the one time I punched out Max Muncy. Other than that, you kind of own my ass. Anyway, back to this. And then versus Ohtani. It's not great. I don't believe for me. But I do have 1 strikeout, which I've watched on this program before because, I'm proud of it. It's a sweeper in the dirt. Yamamoto's got 2 outs in the 7th, 77 pitches. He might pitch the whole game. He really might. Then he's going to earn himself a watching video if that's the case. But we'll see. Yeah, that was a death ball, basically. The one that I threw. Yeah, death ball, gyro slider. I tried so hard to master that pitch throughout my career, but I just really struggled with it. Okay. Yep. So I only faced him 3 times. Is that possibly true? 1 for 3 with a strikeout. No walks. 1 for 3 with a strikeout. And he got a single to left field the first time I faced him when he was on the Angels. And then in 21, I struck him out and got him out to end the game 1 time. So 1 for 3. Not bad. Could be worse. All right, back to the game tonight. Dodgers and Jays. Looks like here comes the timed pinch hit for Bo Bichette. Interesting that they're going to it now. But it looks like they are. So here's the first 2 outs of this inning. Clement, 5-pitch at bat versus Yoshi. Ooh, I love it. Curveball. Great pitch to an aggressive hitter. That's a cutter off that. Ball. Cutter away. Splitter 91. Grounded to third. So the split still quite effective, although that was a pretty good swing by Ernie. Just didn't hit it where he needed to. And then he gets a first pitch out on Barger. Ooh, great pitch there. First pitch out. Looks like Bo just grounded out to Mookie. And he's through the 7th. I think he's got a very good chance to pitch this whole game, Yamamoto. What a freaking stud this guy is. It's unbelievable. So he just gets Bichette out on 2 pitches. First pitch cutter. Couldn't get the leg kick off. What happened there? That's a statue, basically. And then cutter again. I guess I'm a little confused myself at why he pinch hit there. I think I'd rather have him in a spot where I need a hit, but I'm looking at the lineup a little bit here. You're probably not going to pinch hit him for anybody. except for Kiner Falefa. So it made sense. Like that spot might not come up again. You're probably not pinch hitting him for Lucas because if it's a bat versus Saki, you might like that matchup. And you're not pinch hitting him for Guerrero, Springer, Kirk. Probably not Varsho either. So yeah, I think it was just because that was the guy to bring him in, for. All right, let's see what else we got here. Because they're not going to pinch hit Bo for anyone scheduled up the next 2 innings. That's what I was saying. That's what I thought too. But anyway, Yamamoto's sitting pretty, man. Look at this. Let's go back to our game feed. 7 innings, 79 pitches. So he's got 30 pitches to work with, maybe more, 35 pitches to work with for 2 innings. I think he can do it. He's about to flip the order over again, but I think he's the pitch count's under control. You know, you can't figure him out. Now the cutter all of a sudden has been boosted up quite a bit in the second half of this game. 12 cutters now. But yeah, 26 splitters, 18 four seams, 17 curveballs, 12 cutters, 4 sliders, and 2 sinkers. The contact has been generally really weak. 87.9 total exit velocity versus Yoshi today. He's getting 40% chase. Stuff's really good. Balls in play. He's gotten 5 balls in play off curveballs, and I feel like they've all been outs. So that's pretty good. We might see Dodgers defensive subs here soon. Who are the guys that are usually expendable for the Dodgers on defense? Let me think about this. Who will take Oscar, right? So he'd be out. You'd probably see Call or the other guy, the fast guy. Dean, maybe? And then Muncie's played good defense, so I think the infield probably stays maybe the same. Does Rojas go in there? That'd be interesting to see. Varland in there now in the 8th. I think it's a first pitch out of Tommy Edman. The entropy of Yoshi's pitch mix is crazy, especially given he can locate everything. I agree, man. He's special. He is special, and can he do it again? Complete game. Or do you force Roki in? I'm not forcing Roki in. I put him in if he's the best option in the moment, but if Yamamoto has a quick 8th, he's pitching my 9th inning. 100%. So that's my current thinking on it. Spectre, and honestly, I'm willing to push Yoshi to 120 pitches in this game, but that's just me. He's had some really quick outs the last 15 or so batters. It's gone pretty darn easy. Ooh, Kim's another defensive possibility. Okay, got you. Pages just got a hit. Finally, Mr. Pages coming through with a base hit. We've been waiting for this guy to get a hit. Here it is. Yes. But again, though, like, he's the type of guy, he's got so much scoop and lean over in his swing. Like, he can hit these pitches. Not that he hits it hard, but it is a hit. Good for him. He finally got something to go his way. Ooh, Shohei just got drilled, I believe. Or he fouled it off himself. Either way, he looks like he's in pain. I missed it, but that's Varland. This was the Bichette ground out on the broadcast cam. He actually hit that ball really well. Yeah, 107.7. So really good swing there. When I was at the game yesterday, there was a really good play that Bichette made at second base. I thought he looked hurt after that. Oh boy, we have a controversial-ish maybe base running play here by Pages. I don't know if they're going to get him or not, but Shohei gets a hit. Barger throws a seed to second. Is it Mets related? The Hello Kitty pitching bobblehead? I have a Hello Kitty Mets bobblehead downstairs in the basement. No, he's going to be safe. Possibly going to be safe on that. Why was Fluharty not up and ready to go to face Otani? Maybe it's just like they're losing, so you don't want to do it in a losing effort. You don't want to overexpose Fluharty here. You have the game one lead. You feel good with Varland in this spot, and maybe you hold back that matchup now. I don't know. There's a lot of thinking going on here. You can't get in a situation where Shohei sees Fluharty more than, like, he sees him like a fourth time. It's really rolling the dice big time. Big time, big time, big time, big time. So this is what's currently happening. Paja's got that hit, and then this was the Shohei foul ball. Ow. Ow. And then, you know what's funny? If you watch the replay, watch watch Snell right here. Snell literally puts his hand up like he's a Jedi for a second, like, hey, 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 I'll send my force over there. I'm gonna send you my chi. He's sending the forces out of the hand. Heal our hero. I'm so stupid. Anyway. Watch, he sends him the force. And then he gets a hit on a changeup, rides out a changeup, breaks the bat super hardcore, but gets a hit through the hole. And that's what sets up the Dodgers in business in this inning. Mookie's at the plate. 1 out, 2 guys on, 1-0 count. This I don't mind. I don't mind the idea of maybe using Little there because you need to get him back in, and he theoretically matches up well with Otani. But, yeah. How many times does a batter have to see the same pitcher to have the advantage? The numbers bear out that in a playoff series, once a reliever is seen by the same batter a third time, it's not good. Not that any of these things are laws. They're not written in stone. But they're factors. Like, the more exposure thing is real for starters and for relievers, and especially for relievers, because part of the reason why we're relievers is because we weren't good enough to face guys multiple times in a game already on a baseline. So, yeah, you shouldn't expect us to be very good at facing the same hitter over and over and over again. Even if you have the theoretical matchup, these guys are really good at this time of year at adjusting. So, I don't mind the Little idea, though, Mitch. Yes. ABS is going to be freaking hilarious next year, especially early on. Everybody thinking they know the zone, and guys finding out that they don't know the zone. I love that. Yeah, it's not even the force. He's sending the chi or the force or something. He's got the hand. Like, otherwise, why are you putting the hand up? What are you telling him to stop? Ooh, Varland just walked Mookie. Now it's bases chucked. Now Varland's kind of thrown too much for me. Yeah, they're taking him out now. Bases loaded. What's the matchup going to be? It's now they're going to go to the lefty. So is it going to be Fluharty now or Little now? If they do it now, Mitch, then I'll be a little disappointed in the managing. Little makes sense to me now, not Fluharty. Well, we'll see. Patrick Bailey was talking about trying to unframe pitches to get people to waste challenges. That would be next level shit. Like, you know it's a strike, and then you just kind of like get rid of it, and then see if they challenge with bad catching technique to fool the batter that the pitch might end up in a strike, even though you know it's in the zone. That would be so freaking cool if Guy could pull that off. So it's going to be Hoffman? Is that what we're talking about? Okay. I don't mind it because Hoff has to get work. But he cannot go this many days off. So he has to come in anyway in this game. Why not now? You have a shot to maybe hold it down. I don't mind. I would not mind Hoffman in this spot. What was Snell doing yesterday? He kept like pushing with his hand as to remind himself to do something. Yes, he does this all the time. I don't know if I could probably find it on the video, but he always does a thing where like he throws it and he comes down. He's always doing like a, and I think what he's telling himself is like, get your hand there, like A lot of times, what I would think about as a player as I got older is like the only thing I'd be thinking about is hand, getting my hand where it needs to get to. Like it's a release point, but it's just get the hand there. It's not about the arm anymore. It's just get my hand there. Have good hand speed out front. And that's probably what he's telling himself. Like, get your freaking hand where it needs to go. It's probably what he's telling himself. I bet catchers will catch pens on the game mounds more with the ABS on the scoreboard to understand the zone. Maybe. I mean, they already do it a little bit on the TrackMan. The TrackMan has the zone, so if you get it dialed in the same, you could even do it in the bullpen with the TrackMan, and then just they could call out balls and strikes, and somebody could give them the answers or give them the feedback on all that. Maybe I can find this at bat versus Mookie. This is the walk. Curveball pulled away. I definitely thought he overthrew a little bit here. Knuckleball, no, I mean curveball strike. My bad. I don't have the screen here. I missed 2 pitches. Sorry, you guys. Knuckle curveball. Yeah, Hoffman is in the game as we speculated. He's facing up and he throws an immediate wild pitch, and the Dodgers score a run on a split. So that did not go well. Now it's 4-1. I think the runway now for Yama throwing the complete game is starting to change. If the score stays the same, I think he still goes for it. If it gets any bigger, I think they'd probably pull him after 8. And let somebody else pitch, just so he throws a little less pitches, because he's going to have to pitch again in this series. And that was the Varland at bat for Smokey, where he just kind of overthrew some breaking balls. But now we're looking at a 4-1 game. What do I think about the game so far? I think it's been a really good one. I think 2 big swings of the bat, 2 outstanding swings of the bat by Will Smith and Muncy were the difference. And then in this inning, the Dodgers have done a good job of adding on and being annoying and being scrappy, which is what you have to do. Add on runs, tack on runs, end the game. Tack on runs, end the game. No, I saw the hit by pitch just now. Oh, so instead of a wild pitch, it was a hit by pitch? Isn't it all the same difference anyway? Am I not live? Yeah, I feel like I'm live. Now they have Fluharty warming up. I'm so confused about their usage now. They have way too much faith in Varland. Varland's getting kind of cooked in terms of results. Am I wrong about that? What are Varland's actual stats in the postseason? Like, I understand he's got really good stuff, but he's giving up some monster homers, some big moment homers. Ooh, they're trying for a double play. They're not going to get it. Dodgers going to score another run. They should have went home with the ball here. 5-1. Anyway, let's look at the postseason stats here. No, he's been fine. 4.50 in the first series, 2.57 in the second, and already 10 games pitched coming into this. But it's not like it's been like amazing. The biggest thing that he's doing is 1 walk, 14 strikeouts. That's fantastic. But he's given up the 2 homers, and he's given up 10 hits. Well, 8 hits. 8 hits in the 11 innings. I feel like he's been more vulnerable. And then today he's going to have some more runs on his ledger, and they're going to start to look worse. Yeah, now he's got a 4.63 after today. But I don't know. Hard to say. Who will come back? I do not think the Dodgers are going to come back in this game the Blue Jays are going to come back in this game personally. I think the Dodgers will win it. I think Yamamoto is 6 outs away. Probably easily gets 3 more outs. And then we'll see on the last 3, but they're in a good spot. Yeah, my coach would free me for not going home with that. We'll look at that right now. Here's the play. First, you're going to see it from this view so you can see how the ball's hit. See, it's on a chop right there, but it's not hit hard. That's the issue. It's only hit 65.2 miles an hour. So here's the high home. Bases loaded situation. They go for the double play instead of throwing home, but they had not really any shot at the double play because the ball's hit too weakly. So right at this moment, you can go home pretty clearly, but he tries to do the shovel. And also, because it's not a throw, the ball gets to second really, really slow. And then Bichette, who's at second now, doesn't really have any momentum to make a really, really strong throw, and none of it really works out. So anyway, I would have went home with that. What team am I cheering for? I'm rooting for 7-game series, so there's more, baseball to break down as long as possible. I don't really care who wins. I know people on both teams. In a lot of ways, it'd be cool for the Blue Jays to win for some of the people I know, because since the Dodgers won last year, but I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have a dog in the fight at all. He was dead at home, even if he didn't charge it. He had it in hand, and the guy wasn't anywhere near him. Look where the runners are when he catches the ball. I'll pause it. He has the ball. Freddie's not even halfway to home here running. This guy is about halfway. Mookie. This guy is not even halfway, and neither is he. However, this lob throw, this toss is so slow that it really takes up too much time and they can't get to. And Will Smith busts it down the line and earns another victory, another run for the squad. All right, in the chat we had a little question: who had the nastier split, Yoshi or Gosman? And I'm going to close the chat now. This is over on my channel. 54% voted for Yoshi, 46% for Gosman was the final results there. Yeah, it's pretty close. I thought it was pretty close as well, and I would have leaned Yoshi, but it was definitely close. Hoffman just struck out Teoscar. What did he get him with? A slide ball. Ooh, nice pitch. Last time they didn't let the starter go the distance was with Snell when he was dealing, and then they had to go to 2 relievers in the ninth to close out the game. Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on this 8th inning, Javier. If Yoshi has a really fast and clean and efficient 8th inning, I think he'll be out of the game. No, I think you'll have a chance to finish the game. If it's grindy at all, he'll probably be out of the game. But, you should be able to close out a 4-run lead with any pitcher on the mound. You really should. They're all good pitchers. Trust me. But it's going to be interesting to see. He's going to come out for the 8th. So we didn't do much review on yesterday's game. A couple key points I want to... I have a sick bobblehead, actually. My only bobblehead is a Star Wars bobblehead from my MLB career. Jedi Ottavino. Very cool. I don't have it in here for some reason, but I have a bunch of them. What was I going to say? A couple notes as I watch Yamamoto pitch, and then we'll obviously catch up on the 8th when it's over. A couple things I was thinking about game 1, because I'm not going to review it, obviously, now very much. I thought that the first inning was incredibly impactful, even though the Blue Jays didn't score off Snell 29 pitches. I feel like that was something that ended up showing up later in the game. He did not really have it in that 6th inning. And I can't help but think that he was a little tired, maybe a little cooked. I also thought the Blue Jays did a phenomenal job at capitalizing on the mistakes, learning from their first at-bats. Varsho attacking that fastball down, not wanting to get to 2 strikes, and executing that was massive. Also, the Savage thing that I mentioned before, the fact that he got through the 4th inning was huge. And in general, the Blue Jays bullpen in those middle innings was really, really good. Seranthony Dominguez was really, really good. And I thought that was kind of the key to get them to that big inning. They do eventually break the Dodgers. You see the problem with the Dodgers is that bullpen. Sheehan had nothing really for any of these dudes. He couldn't get Lucas out, couldn't get Jimenez out, couldn't seal the deal. Then Bonda comes in, ends up getting clipped for the slam, hanging the breaking ball to Barger. So that's the formula, though. Got to get the starter out of there. They're not doing that in this one, as Yoshi strikes out somebody just now to start off the 8th. So it's still the same formula. Get these unbelievable starters out of the game, but it's easier said than done. Yamamoto with a 6-pitch strikeout here at Jimenez to start the 8th. Cutter middle strike. Splitter down, swing and miss. That's filth. Curveball coming off of that. Foul ball. Four seam. Still throwing 96. Still featuring that ride. That's a good spot. Goes a little bit higher than the pitch that was just fouled off on. If he does get a swing here, this is a miss, but he doesn't get the swing. And then he does get the strikeout here on pitch number 6 on the curveball. Whenever he goes higher than high, expect to see a curveball off of it, and that's what happened there. He went higher than high with the fastball. He goes higher than high. See, look how that breaking ball breaks at a similar height. Man, and then it just yo-yos right down. Disgusting pitch. So much movement, so much snap, so much nastiness. And that was the first out of the 8th. He almost hit Springer here with a sinker. Yamamoto can pitch a complete game, but Sasaki needs to pitch today. Otherwise, the gap between his appearances will be too long. This is a school of thought. This is a school of thought. I don't disagree that there are pitchers that would definitely need to pitch today. They need to get work in at some point. Maybe Roki's that guy. They should have a feel for that. But Yama just punched out another guy. He just punched out Springer. So it's getting ridiculous now. He's on an absolute burner at this point, finishing the 8th inning. Very strong. Slider to George, strike. Curveball off of that, strike. I mean, now he's just so locked in, it's a joke. Here's that split that almost hits him. Almost knocks his pecker off. And then he's going to go four-seam, cheese up top. So has literally everything working. And it feels like he's not going to throw you a fastball. But then he guns it up and then see you later. Can't believe I'm still awake. Yeah, me and you both, Jared. And after this half inning, I think I'm going to say goodnight no matter what. And then if I see him come out for the 9th, I'll try to record a watching video of Yama because he has definitely deserved it. But other than that, my bones got to go to bed. And it looks like this is going to be a pretty comfortable Dodger win, and we're going to go back to LA 1-1, and we got ourselves a World freaking Series, is what it feels like to me. All right, Yamamoto, 2-strike count. Can he punch out the side in the 8th? Yes, he can. Lucas goes down looking. That was perfect pitch. Watch this at bat. First pitch, split, strike. Second pitch, four-seam, perfectly up and in. He's so freaking good. Curveball, just off the plate away. And then the four-seam dotted down and away. Like, just perfect command. He is so freaking good. And he's through 8 at 93 pitches. So we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do. As for my plans, the rest of the week, Sundays I never have a show, but there's no game tomorrow. So Monday, there will be a baseball and coffee pre-game show, preview show of Game 3, as well as a review if anything gets crazy in Game 2. If Yamamoto does go out for the 9th, there will be a video made. I might make it anyway. I'll probably make it anyway because he deserves it. 8 innings to this point, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 8 strikeouts. So if the results hold, we will be 1-1, and we'll be headed to LA for Game 3, and it'll be an outstanding. This has been an outstanding World Series so far. Both teams each have played a really good game, respectively. The Blue Jays overpowered them yesterday with some really good offensive approach, and today Yamamoto has basically carried them to victory along with a couple of big swings. So both teams kind of doing it the way that they do it, and we will be tied at 1, assuming they can get 3 more outs before they give up 4 more runs. So I'm going to say goodnight. It's the same picture as yesterday. It's the only Rogers Center picture I can find right now, which is so frustrating. But anyway, that's what I got. Adios. This has been a good stream, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.